Hello, Digimon fans! So, if you all remember, we were supposed to have our DC01 Grand Prix in August last year. Yeah, but sadly, due to the pandemic situation and, cheating being pretty rampant on webcam battles, it got called off. Yep, and it didn't continue until this month. Yes, so just 2 weeks back, it hasn't even been 2 weeks yet. Yep, we finally concluded our own DC01 Grand Prix. Yeah, well, technically it's just Malaysia, Thailand, Singapore, and Taiwan. Yep, Hong Kong, the Philippines, and Indonesia have yet to start their DC01 Grand Prix yet. Yeah, so basically it's also because of the pandemic situation in Hong Kong. It's pretty bad right now apparently. Yeah, so things might get delayed to May or maybe July. Yeah, so it's all hearsay, but I guess it depends on the situation there. So, nevertheless, we managed to conclude two group finals, which was Malaysia versus Thailand and Taiwan versus Singapore. Yep. So, one thing that grabbed my attention in the DC01 was that out of the four finalists, three of them actually used Alphamon decks. Like, wow, wow. That's 75%. Yeah, I know it's just four people, but three players out of four actually played Alphamon decks in the finals. And they actually said things like, why did they pick Alphamon decks? Well, because they won with Alphamon decks throughout the whole tournament. So they just put their trust in the deck. So, wow. That shows that Alphamon is a really, really, really good deck. Yeah, Black X Antibody started off in BT7. Yeah, it started off in BT6 with Black Royal Knights, thanks to the Alphamon Secret Rare. But then BT7 brought in Dorugoramon, and BT8 brought in Oriomon. But gosh, BT9 looks like this is the real deal. So, what's this deck all about? Let's check it out. Just like all Black X antibody decks since BT7, Dorimon, Darumon, Darugamon, and Darugreymon are must-haves in this deck. In fact, other than Dorimon, these three, along with Oriumon, appeared in every single BT9 Alphamon deck used before the weekend of the Asian DC1 Grand Prix final. Only one deck did not use a playset of Dorimon, opting for a playset of Kyokomon instead. Well, why is that so? Frankly speaking, I don't really know, especially when its build was the standard Alphamon build. What standard Alphamon build? Well, there are actually two ways to build this deck, but the most common way is to throw in Dex Dorugamon and Dex Dorugreymon. Dex Dorugamon allows you to digivolve onto Dorugamon for free, while allowing you to gain memory as well as blocker and retaliation when it digivolves. Meanwhile, Dex Dorogreymon also gives you a memory when you digivolve into it, and also allows you to delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower Digimon if it has Dorugreymon in its Digivolution cards. Well, in case you were wondering how common this build is, let's just say 16 of 22 first place Alphamon decks actually run both of them. So, what if you don't want to run the two Dexes? Well, there were four first place decks which didn't run them. And the alternatives were Ginryumon, Raptordramon, Hisharumon, and Greatmon. Well, Ginryumon, Hisharumon, and Greatmon are more common, even appearing in decks which have Dex Dorugamon and Dex Dorugreymon as well. But Raptormon? Well, only two decks had it, and even then, it was only ran at 2 max. So, well, I guess it's not really that important to have. That's it, regardless of which build you go with, there is one thing which stays constant. Deck ratios. Unlike most decks, this deck usually runs around 10 to 12 rookies. In fact, some people even go as low as 7 and 8 rookies. Like, wow! How do they even do that? Well, basically, I guess the key is searching. That's why Black Memory Boost is used in almost every deck. It not only gives you an on-demand memory in later turns, but it allows you to pick up Black Digimon as well. Domoto Kota is also another important searcher, allowing you to add X antibody cards into your hand. Well, do note, it says one card with X antibody in its traits, and that includes options as well, like X antibody option and Zevolution. That's also probably why X antibody option is used by quite a lot of Alphamon decks as well. That said, it's quite surprising that none of them actually use Zevolution, despite it being a searcher and also being addable to the Digivolution cards by effects. Well, in that case, what other options do people use? Outside of Black Memory Boost and X Antibody, the most commonly used one is Congo. This card is pretty darn good because it not only stops Rookie Rush decks, it also disrupts Second decks since it stops them from healing. It can also stop cards like Magnamon X, which survives deletion by placing itself onto the security stack. You can also use cards like Iseryojin, God Blast, and Brave Metal. That said, despite only appearing in 3 Alphamon decks before the Asian Grand Prix finals, God Blast actually appeared in 2 of the 3 Alphamon decks in the finals, so well, it's still not that bad of a choice. So other than these, what other cards are used in Alphamon decks? For Tamers, we have Mushayuji and Kuboy, 2 other Tamers that support X antibody decks and give you draw power and extra memory. Plus, Mushayuji plays a very important role if you want your Alphamon to unsuspend after attacking more than once. Since Oryumon's inherited effect is a mandatory effect, stuffing 2 or more Oryumon under your Alphamon would only allow it to unsuspend once. So by using Mushayuji, you can actually stick Oryumon in after the second attack, allowing your Alphamon to unsuspend again. As for Digimon, there are 2 other Dorumon you can edit. BT9 Dorumon can give you more draw power and help you build up your trash for Alphamon, while Promo Dorumon has security effects. Well, if you were tripping from not being able to buy any Promo Dorumon, you don't actually have to worry because honestly, you're not really missing out on much. You can also add in some non-X antibody Digimon like Grumblemon, Sunarizamon, and Chumon. Grumblemon is usually only used at 1, and is usually only used when you need that one clutch shot to win the game. But even then, it's still pretty popular in Alphamon decks. Sunarizamon, however, allows your Alphamon to have piercing if it's on the field. It will also give you an extra security check if you Digivolve onto it. Well, that is if your Alphamon has at least 13,000 DP, but that isn't really too hard to achieve with the right Digivolution cards. Meanwhile, Chumon is a pretty good card to stop your opponents from gaining memory, especially in Mirror Alphamon matches. And finally, here is a sample deck list you can refer to. As you can see, I prioritize Domoto Kota and Black Memory Boost over the other tamers and options mainly due to the search factor. Kuboy also allows you to search for Digimon as well. However, since we have Grumblemon, it's much better to have Black Tamers on the board than Kuboy. That's why I only limited it to 1. Well, basically I would love to have more, but I still need space for Mushayuji, which I played at 3 for consistency. BT6 Alphamon is also only used at 1, but that's not because it's bad. I actually favor BT9 Alphamon's bot control more. It's more of a personal choice really, especially since BT6 Alphamon and Orimon can result in quite a bit of memory if you survive all your battles. So it's actually justified if you decide to run more BT6 Alphamon. So, what do you think about this deck? Well, personally speaking, I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, especially since BT2, Black has been given so many different mechanics and gimmicks, and yeah, it's a pretty cool color, and a lot of people actually like Black. Yeah, and they've been trying to make it work for so many sets, and boom, finally. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't call it tier 0, but I feel it's quite solidly in tier 1. I mean, look, 3 out of 4 finalists use Alphamon. Well, we don't know what the representative from Hong Kong, Indonesia, and the Philippines will be using. Well, it might be from a different metaphor, but in this meta, Black is solid. Yeah. So, what do you think about this deck? Did you build yourself an Alphamon deck? Do you prefer the rare Alphamon or the secret rare Alphamon? Yep, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think about it, or what kind of matchups with which you face, which gave you some sort of trouble and how you overcame them. Yep, hit me up in the comments. Well, half of the DC01 Grand Prix of Asia has been completed. We've got one more group final left, which is Hong Kong, Indonesia, and the Philippines. Well, when will that happen? I don't know. Let's hope it happens soon and hope that the pandemic situation in Hong Kong improves. Well, that's all from me today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!